Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting. My name is Carl, the Cobra Froch, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino, and today I spoke with Chris Eubank Sr. I was delighted to be joined with him on the phone. Unfortunately, we've only got the audios. The visuals are not there. He hasn't got a phone with a camera. Somebody stole his phone yesterday. Now, is that stupid or is it brave? I don't know, but I wouldn't be stealing a man's phone. Certainly not for a guy like Chris Eubank Sr. What a guy, what a fucking legend he is. Such a hard nut. Can take a punch. We've seen him against Cole Thompson at the end of his career. His 2 fights with Nigel Benn. He went 12 rounds with Joe Calzaghe at the end of his career. The end of his career, he fought Joe Calzaghe. He got dropped in round 1 and he heard the final bell. But anyway, his son, Eubank Jr., is fighting at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next weekend against Conor Benn in probably what's going to be the biggest fight that Britain will see this year. And we caught up. We haven't got the visuals, like I've said, the visuals. We've only got the audio. But we spoke about the fight. We spoke about Nigel Benn getting his throat round Junior's throat, his hand round Junior's throat. We spoke about the egg slapping incident. It was a good chat, such a good chat. I thought I'd upload it on my YouTube anyway. It might be one for the Spotify listeners. It might be one for when you're strolling along in your car, you've got a bit of time in your car and you're just listening, or one for when your head hits the pillow and you just listen to your podcast. But I wanted to stick it on here for my regular listeners, so I hope you enjoy it. How are you, Chris? You all right, mate?
I am excellent, Mr. Froch.
Oh, that's good to hear. I saw you was with Michael Watson yesterday, and that was nice to see. How do you find that?
It was spiritually crushing. I walked with him a 1 mile, and the pain that he's going through to do it. And here's the thing, okay? The pain he's going through is unimaginable to us. We don't know this type of pain. Now, at the end, when he sat down in the chair, he said to the audience, he said to them, it was a walk in the park. He said it was a walk in the park. I'm the one who was I was his pillar that he was leaning on. I felt the pain going through him. I felt his bones shivering. This is what happens when rules are not adhered to. When rules are not adhered to, fighters end up like Michael Watson. They end up like Nick Blackwell, who was there. So the reason, everyone wants to talk about, well, why aren't you supporting your son? It is madness. It is a circus. It is disgraceful. No one's talking about what is so obvious. Where are you? You seem to me to have like a bomb spirit. You speak what you want and you just let it out. Speak the truth and tell these people the truth and what they need to know. Michael Watson is real. Okay, this is what happens to fighters when rules are not adhered to, when promoters run amok at our expense and ride on our backs with their sticky personalities. Sticky. If we don't take a stand, what's going to happen to us? We're going to get crushed because the rules will go from bad to worse. 147 is what I heard the other day. This Conor Benn stated on the Piers Morgan show. He said, I'm a 147 fighter. I'm going up to 160 for this fight, and then I'm coming back down. You heard him say this. So 2 things is what I want to ask. Does he actually understand the rules of boxing? Or is it that he's listening to his promoter who is ignoring the rules of boxing? You can't do that. These rules are safeguards. They are guardrails for your safety, Conor. And Conor, okay, that's one side. My son, at 35, having to boil himself down to 160. And they were trying to actually get him down to 157 a few years ago. 157. My son would have ended up, let me tell you what, dead. And when I say dead, oh, Mr. Eubank, Don't you think that's a bit strong? No. My brother died from the promoters actually bringing him in last minute, 20 losses in 27 fights, frontal lobe dementia. So maybe I've said a great deal before we've even actually got started. But you understand, I'm speaking from my stomach. I'm speaking from my heart. What we have to do, Mr. Froch, with your with your force of speech, okay? You say what you want, and you don't. It doesn't seem to me that you back down. It seems to me you act like the king you're supposed to be. You took out this. You took out Mr. Taylor in the 12th round. That gives you the right to speak and have people listen and follow what you are saying. We are the gladiators. We are the ones who steer, and we are the examples for the people. We inspire the people. They're not following the singers. They're not following the actors. They follow the fighters. We are the gladiators.
Yeah,
So speak your truth and hold these people to account. Yesterday, all those journalists who were there with Michael, they couldn't say anything. I said, do your job. Do your job. And the Boxing Board of Control, you have your platform. Tell them, do their job. Otherwise, this will go from bad to worse. And what is that? That is the lives of the fighters. What the promoters are doing in this case is disgraceful. What the fighters are doing, they're taking the money, paying no mind to their language. Can you imagine? I mean, I was saying yesterday on some interview, how does Conor Benn is supposed to be a Christian, but he's swearing like he's a possessed drunk? I don't get it. I mean, I'm talking about, your language is what you're teaching other people to use. If you speak like a man possessed, if you speak like a fool, then other people are going to say, well, I'm going to do it too because he's doing it. He's making money. That's not who we are. Carl, Mr. Froch, that's not who we are. So I want you to stand your ground and let these people know we are the standard bearers and stop bringing our game of boxing, our sport of boxing, our vocation of boxing, stop bringing it into disrepute. Those who use bad language, move to the side.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
that's
There's
the first
there's
that's
a
the
couple
first
of
6 minutes.
things there I want to just touch back on there because
Please.
obviously you speak very well and you said a lot there. My first question to you would be, what's more concerning for you, Conor Benn coming up from 147 or your son, Eubank Jr., boiling himself down to 160? I thought he was comfortable at 160 in the rematch with Liam Smith. But which one bothers you more, Conor coming up or Chris having to take some weight off to get down to 160 at the age of 30? What is he, 35, 36?
Yeah. The obvious answer is my son, because I know what it is at 30. I retired at 32 years old. He's 35. I couldn't do any more after 32. At 35, he's still getting down to 160. So my concern is for my son. But I have, because I'm a dad, it means I've got to be a dad also to Conor. Conor is destroying his career, or someone, it's Matchroom, it's the promoter that's destroying his career, because once you go up to 160, coming back down to 147, it doesn't work. You lose something. How do I know? I went up to 183, 184 to cruiserweight. I fought this Carl Thompson.
Amazing fight.
Amazing fight. Let me tell you what, that was an assassination attempt, because I let the promoter know that he was acting like a person who takes advantage of little children. Little children are people who don't know law and they don't know money, and he's using his knowledge of the law and statutes to make money on behalf of the fighters. So when I said this to him, the word I use I can't use over the phone with you, but I'll tell you this: that fight, that was an assassination attempt. So when I'm speaking about my son now, what I'm speaking about is, this is what they're doing. They're trying to commit a crime in broad daylight. Carl, let me ask you a question. Look at this. Do you think it's a coincidence that this is called Fatal Fury? Do you, they've named the fight Fatal Fury, and it's actually at White Hart Lane. This is where I fought Michael Watson.
Yeah, I mean, I can see
It's
kind of what you're saying there, and
it's it it
serendipity in
it
place. If you want to look at that, then there's a lot of
serendipity.
coincidences.
It's not serendipity. It is called. That's evil. That's evil.
Okay.
Not serendipity. That's evil. How could you build a fight like this? Let me ask you a question. I've heard the promoter saying, "Oh, there's real hate in here now." He's the one who has the hate in him. It's not the fighters. They're only interested in money. And it looks to me like Conor may be binded down with some type of agreement. Because why would he destroy his career? 3 fights in 3 years? Who juiced him up? Why aren't you on this, Mr. Froch? I want you talking about this. I want you being not bombastic is the wrong word. It's just put your energy on this. Put your energy on this because if if they get away with this, and I'm talking about the promoters, they will continue to do it, and it will go from bad to worse. And boxing, which was the number one sport in the world. Remember Jack Johnson. Remember Joe Louis. Remember Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. The number one sport in the world. How comes now it's number 16? It's number 18 because these promoters they're running amok. We are not WWE. We are not choreographed. What is this language? What is bringing this game into disrepute like they do, like these fighters are doing? They're following the promoters. It's the promoters who have the potty mouths. And it's like, well, okay, if they can do it, then I better do it. No, we're Britain. We are Great Britain. We have a language. We have the English language. Okay, we have this note of manners, nobility. Noble. Look at the word noble art. Do you think it's an accident that boxing is referred to as the noble art? It's not an accident. We are the noblemen. We are not supposed to be using bad language. We're not supposed to be smashing eggs against the face of opponents because this is what goes out in the community. I well know that there were two stances back in the 90s. One was a growl in the school playgrounds, representing Nigel Benn, and one was that statuesque banging his fists together. This is how the kids followed. This is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to be doing now. They're going to be following Conor Benn. We have to stop that. The egg slap, we have to stop that. We have to let them know, the public, the youngsters, this is not who we are. This is nonsense. This is a disgrace. If the Boxing Board of Control were doing the job, okay, they would have their licenses, if not revoked, then certainly suspended. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think Junior's had a hefty fine, which I think...
No. The fine doesn't bother him because the money he's making, it doesn't bother him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He'll do it another 2-3 times for the money he's getting because it just helps sell more tickets. But that's not who we are. That's not my example.
No.
You've never heard me use bad language twice. I may have done it once if you can find that video. You've not seen me get into a fight outside the ring. You've always seen me calm, gentle, and true. And with that, what I've been able to do is garner one of the best personalities anyone has ever seen. I didn't need bad language to do that. What I needed was the spirit. Some call the spirit Allah. Some call the spirit Krishna. Some call the spirit Buddha. I call the spirit Christ. And that personality puts everything perfectly in place for those who abide by it. Now, if you abide by the rules or the personality of the spirit, you are first patient, you are then kind, you don't envy, you don't boast. You're certainly not rude, you're not self-seeking, you're not easily angered, and you'll keep no record of wrongs. This is the personality of the spirit, and anyone who uses it will have the people say of them, oh, he's comedy gold. But it's not me. It's not me who gives comedy gold. It is the spirit. And as I say, I don't care what you call it. As I say, whether you call it Buddha or Krishna or Allah or Christ, it's a spirit. And if you abide by it, you are going to be successful in every single way. 1, 2, you will carry on living a life of respect and harmony amongst the people. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what's going to happen in 4 years when the children of Conor Benn. He's got 2 children, I believe. When his children see him swearing like he's been swearing in this build-up to this circus, they're going to say, well, if Dad did it, then I can do it. All the kids in the playground are going to say, well, he's doing it, so I can do it. They're listening. There's no watershed for these kids who are 7 and 8 years old. They're listening to Conor with this bad language. And then they are going to say, well, if he can do it, I can. This is not who we are. Stand up and fight for us, Mr. Froch. I speak from my gut. Okay, let me just let you ask your questions. I'm sorry that I am so passionate about the life.
No, not at all. I enjoy listening to you, and I understand completely what you're saying in terms of being exemplary and leading by example, and not bringing the boxing world or sport into disrepute. One would argue, especially Eddie Hearn, that it's promoting the fight. There's probably not a problem with the weight. Conor Benn walks around comfortably at 12 stone, 168 pound. Apparently, I know the walk round weight and the performance weight is different, but he's going to be full of energy, full of food, and he'll be fully hydrated when he takes on your son. Your son, Eubank Jr., I don't think coming down to 160 based on his performance against Liam Smith in the rematch, for me, it's not a massive issue. I don't think he's a super middleweight. He's proven that against George Groves. A great fighter, your son. I remember vividly the days sparring with you, filming the sparring over the top rope, looking very slick, if I don't mind adding, if you don't mind me adding, looking good, sharp, recording the spars. I don't mind having a look at some of them spars, if I'm honest, one day. But you hold yourself different. You're charismatic. You've got a certain stature about you, and you've got finesse as well, and you're very unique, and that's why I think your YouTube channel is not only doing well, I think it's going to continue to do well. It's actually flying, and congratulations on that, by the way, and I know you're enjoying it because you look like you're enjoying it. But back to the fight.
Thank you.
The weight thing will be argued that the weight's not a major issue. Your son can do 160 comfortably. I know at 35, 36 years old it gets harder, and Conor Benn's coming up a weight, and he's going to be full of energy. So that will be the promoter's comeback. And then in terms of the egg slap, it's all part of the promotion. I mean, Conor Benn blamed it on high consumption of eggs. He has been asked on numerous occasions, why have you failed 2 drugs tests? How did clomiphene get in your system? He refuses to answer it now. He legally says he can't answer it. I actually did an interview with him a couple of weeks ago, which has aired, and I was unable to ask about the failed drugs test. It was pointless. If I would have asked, the interview wouldn't have got shown. So I took what I could, did some questions with him. It was a bit of a fluffy piece, but it showed a different side to Conor Benn, who I actually think is quite a nice young man. I know he uses profanities, and he's not as eloquent and as old English as you, should I say, and he doesn't carry himself as respectable as somebody like you. But the boxing world is full of fighters from working class, and although you do want to lead by example, and you're asking me to sort of stand up and call this out, the biggest issue I would have with this fight, I suppose, is the fact that there's actually, the main reason this fight is big is because of your name and Nigel Benn's name. Your son's not achieved world honours. He's tried and he's done well as a boxer, but Conor Benn's achieved nothing yet. And this is probably the biggest fight we're going to see this year. And I just feel that's one thing. Why is it so big? It's big because of you and because of your name and Nigel Benn's name. But are you going to be involved in this fight? And if not, why not? Don't you think that as a father you should be there?
If my son goes out there and commits a heinous crime, and I go and say, well, okay, I've got to actually protect him. I've got to protect him, and I've got to somehow just be there for him. But the crime is where he's actually gone and taken advantage of a child. Okay, so we're talking about like a heinous crime, something really, really awful. Okay. Are you saying that I should still back my son?
Well,
no, hold on. Before you answer that, if society is still telling me to back my son no matter what, then I say to the public, then you have had the wool pulled over your eyes. I am not a fool. Okay, the law states, okay, if you rob a bank, okay, and I'm with you, okay, I stayed in the car. I didn't go into the bank, okay, but I'm aware that you were going to do what you did. If I'm in the car, I go to jail just like you. I then become an accomplice to the bad act.
Yeah, you're the lookout.
That's right. So every parent who's listening to this broadcast, okay, this idea of back your son, whatever he does, this is this is madness. This is being idiotic. If I should back someone who breaks the law, I have to shop that person because I'm a standard bearer. I'm not anyone's friend. I'm certainly, I'm not a friend to my son. I'm his father. That means I steer you. If you do wrong, I'm going to be the first one to shop you. This is who we have to be as parents. And if we're not, then we've been listening to morons who have taught us to, oh, no matter what my son does, no matter what, I'm going to actually back him. That is madness. It is our job to steer them in the right direction so that they are brought up in a way where they don't commit crimes which cost the society. We want them to contribute. We want them to contribute towards society, not cost society. So this idea of will you be in your son's corner? How can I be in his corner? Then that would actually everything that I've done, all the discipline I've had to use over all these years, all this, you know how people felt about me. I was calling boxing a mug's game in 1989, and I suffered the backlash from the public. But I was only ever telling the truth, but I stuck to my guns. Yeah. The point I'm making to you is, you've got to do what is correct, what is right, what is righteous, what is the law. Do not ask me, for anyone listening to this broadcast, do not ask any man to back their sons or daughters with anything that they do. That is dumb. We can't be like that. We have to be. Listen, if my son does wrong, I've got to call it out. If I don't call it out, it means I'm a hypocrite. I am no hypocrite. I don't do that. I'm not a game player. I'm a standard bearer. I came into boxing to do it nobly.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay?
I understand.
Okay, what's your question? Come back to me. Sorry.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I suppose going on from that and just moving it slightly, because you've kind of made clear that you disagree with the fight, you don't want the fight to happen, and we understand why. I certainly understand why.
Sorry. It's not that I don't want it to happen. Hold on. I was brought up by the rules. So you're telling me to walk. You're telling me to walk. You've taught me how to walk, and I believe in walking. Now you're telling me you can't walk anymore. Now you must hop. I don't want to hop. I'm not going to hop. I don't know how to hop. I can only walk. This is what I was taught. I believe in the rules. Do you remember John Morris?
John Morris?
Yes.
No.
The General Secretary. He's passed now. He was the General Secretary of the Boxing Board of Control.
Right. Okay. He was around your time then, not mine.
That's right. 90s. When I won that championship, he wagged his finger in my face and said, "Make sure you carry yourself with respect. Make sure you do not bring this vocation, this sport, into disrepute," because no one knew at that time whether I was a loose cannon. And he was like, "I'm not sure what you're going to do, Eubank, so make sure you don't bring the game into disrepute." And I've followed that instruction right the way through my career and way after my career. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Do not ask me to hop now to say, well, okay, So listen. Okay, so this egg goes across his face. So if I go into his corner and support Junior, if I support my son, I love my son. But I'll never be next to him in boxing, otherwise it will tarnish. Do you know this word? It will tarnish what I've been able to stand for. And what I stood for all these years is the discipline that boxing, it requires discipline. And this discipline is why people admire us. What you did in the 12th round, being beaten up in the early rounds of this Taylor fight, you got beaten up, and then you come back in the last round. This is what builds young men. This is what actually steers our society in the right way. This is heroic. This is inspiring. This is what gets people into boxing. And then once they're in boxing, they understand there's rules. And the first rule is, listen to the first rule. We'll teach you how to do this, but you can never use it outside the ring. How wonderful is that for us?
Yeah.
That's who we are, Mr. Froch. What I want to ask you is this.
Yeah.
Okay, with your platform and with your fan base. Okay, tell the people who you are. Tell them what you stand for. Tell them what you stand for. If what they're doing, do you have the mind? Well, we have to excuse this one because there are so many millions. That's not who we are. We are not whores. We are not harlots.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and I think your concerns about the weight, I probably don't share as deeply.
Why don't you share it? Did you not hear?
Maybe because it's not my son. Maybe that's the only reason.
No.
Junior will be okay at 160.
Sorry. Okay, look. Here's the clearest way we can put it. Okay, the clearest way. Conor Benn and my son went on to Piers Morgan. Okay, Piers Morgan is one of the brightest lights as a journalist in this country. Okay, he went on to show. He himself, if you go back and watch it, so Conor himself says, I'm a 147 fighter, but I'm going to go up to 160 for this fight and then come back down.
Yeah.
I said this to you at the start. This is against the rules.
Fighters have done it. Canelo Alvarez moved up to the weight from.
Listen. I'm not on Canelo. I'm not on. And I've stated when they're talking about this, Mr. Crawford. No, it's the wrong weight. This has to stop. Otherwise, it's going to go out of control. We are boxing. We are not WWE. So if I'm the only man who's going to stand up against this disgraceful act, we are not WWE. If I'm the only man to stand up against it, then I'm happy to. Not only happy, let me tell you what. In war, I have no fear. None. You think I'm afraid of them? You think this fight doesn't happen? You think I'm afraid to speak my truth? The fight does not happen. As I said, it wouldn't happen last time. It will not happen this time. Why? Because the rules are real. They are there for a purpose. Okay? There's something spiritual going on here. These rules are there. They are safeguards for the fighters. Okay? What the promoters are doing, they are trashing it for money. Okay? And putting money in the eyes and the minds of the fighters, blinding them to their own safety. Okay, again, I'm talking about the rules. 147 fights 147. 147 does not fight 160.
What do you think will stop this fight from happening?
What do I think? If I told you that, then I'd be giving you the secret of which you could never understand. Not at this point. You may understand it in the future, but you're not going to understand it right now. So I'm not going to tell you why.
Okay. But you're genuinely confident this fight doesn't happen. That's really interesting. I find that fascinating. And when you point out the fact that the location, the weight difference, and the comparisons to previous stuff that's happened in your life, I mean, I do find it fascinating.
You're me. I've seen you. I saw what you did with Jermaine Taylor.
Yeah.
I don't quit. I'm not in this as a game. This is who I am. You showed that in the Taylor fight. You showed that. I don't care that I'm getting beat. I'm never going to give up. Not only am I not going to give up, I'm right. Because it's righteous. This is the rules. This has been set in stone. Boxing was born here in the United Kingdom in the late 1800s. The Queensberry rules. I'm standing with the rules. How can I fail? If they if let's say this did go through, then it means that the likes of me, it means that I go in the opposite way. It means I get drowned out. I can't be drowned out. You can't drown out a man like me because I'm standing on principle. The same principle that got you through that fight. And had you stopped him in the last round, the 12th round, the championship rounds, that's what you did. So you know what I'm talking about. You're talking about my confidence. Let me tell you how confident I am. Let me see. Okay. I'm standing outside in my garden right now. I am as confident as you standing up in your office or going outside, standing in the street, bend to just squat down a little bit and go side to side. Put your weight side to side and try to rock the earth. Try to rock the entire planet. You'll not be able to do it. That's how steadfast I am. This fight does not happen.
That's a pretty solid statement.
Okay, all right. So you understand. You can't talk to me about being bored. You can't talk to me about glitz and money and oh but. I ain't dealing with that. Those people are they have their reward, as you will see. Clearly you will see what their reward is. I will stand my ground. And you, Mr. Froch, please do not do it to yourself. Do not let these people take away your credibility. All the journalists you see who are falling on side, all these fighters who you see, oh, I'm going to give my prediction. I'm really looking. All these people are wrong. They're all wrong. Who are we? Have we become baboons? Have we become harlots? We have to abide by the rules, my friend.
Well, none of them people are taking the punches, are they? They're not getting in there. It's for their entertainment and for their business reasons, but they're not the one taking the punches. I totally get what you're saying.
For me to go to that fight would make me an accomplice to it.
Yeah, I understand that.
That would be so. If anything happens to Conor, I would be an accomplice to it.
Yeah, totally get that.
Anything happens to my son, I would be an accomplice to it. When they talk about me turning up and simply the best, you're dreaming, you're mad. You're mad, that's madness. I am code. CODE, code. I am code. I stick to the rules. Let me tell you what. Come rain or shine, I stand firm. This fight doesn't happen. And if it does, this is the way they kill me. And I don't have a life you can take. Remember this, what I'm saying to you. You don't have my life is not something they can take. They can't take it because I am the standard bearer. I'm the servant. I serve the people. I'm serving the fighters. I walked with Michael Watson a mile yesterday. The pain I felt. He's got his hand on my shoulder. I can feel his bones shaking with pain.
Yeah, I saw that.
And never once did he complain. He smiles. He smiles.
Amazing, really, amazing.
Yeah, but we can't just keep on doing lip service. We have to put our feet down and say no. We have to prevent this type of thing from happening. And the way we prevent it from happening is by preventing these promoters pulling the wool over the eyes of the fighters and making a mockery of the standard-bearing vocation that boxing is.
What do you make of the fact that Nigel Benn took your son around the throat with his hand at that press conference?
I'm well aware that this is a play. If the weights were correct, listen to me carefully, Mr. Froch. If the weights were correct, if Junior was 147, if Junior was 147 and Conor was 147, him grabbing him by the throat, that's a great promotion. That's a great promotion. I haven't got anything against. It's a play. I don't mind, but the weights have to be correct. I'm not going to get involved in nonsense. He smashed an egg around Nigel's son's face. That's a natural reaction. How do you expect him to react?
Yeah.
That's a natural reaction. This is not what we teach, though, because whatever we do, whatever example we exhibit is what the children in the community and the gangsters and the cardboard cutout gangsters, this is what they follow. And I'm saying to you, we can't do that. Mr. Froch, you are as powerful as me. You are as powerful as me. So stand your ground. Stand your ground. Don't let them treat you like you are, take it or leave it. You stand your ground. That's the only way you're going to become more respected.
Well, I'll be voicing your opinion and putting out what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with your fact that you're pointing out the weight division difference, because that they do carry dangers, and we've seen people injured in the past that are in maybe positions where they shouldn't be in, and this is definitely putting both fighters in compromised positions. And as you've pointed out so eloquently on your channel, the rules, the British Boxing Board of Control rules, one of them does stipulate that the weight constraints, the weight has to be, they're in the same weight division. They are in different weight divisions, so I totally get what you're saying. But
so fight for the rules, because if you fight for the rules, Mr. Froch, let me tell you what will happen. Okay, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, they'll say, listen carefully. They'll say, yeah, sorry, no, I'm Froch. My great grandfather was Carl Froch. They'll be proud of you for standing your ground, because let me tell you what, this is going to stand out. I'm not going anywhere.
yeah.
What I've done is not going anywhere. What Jack Johnson did is not going anywhere. What Mike Tyson did is not going anywhere. The rules have to be adhered to, and those who stand for the rules will be respected. Not just respected, will be loved. They'll have the hearts of the people, because they stood their ground when everybody else was going the wrong way. So what I say to your audience is, repent. You're going the wrong way. All those who are, put it on. Who's the reporter with the glasses and the long hair? Davis, G. Davis.
I was thinking of Man via Right then, but no, Gareth A. Davis.
Gareth Davis. Okay, put it on him. He has a duty of care for the fighters. This is not about looking cool. This is not about, oh, I'm cool, I wear this. You're a journalist. Do your job.
I think what I might do on the back of this conversation, I may just try and get Robert Smith on the phone and ask him what his opinion is on this weight division, this fight.
I listened to him last night. You're talking to no, I'm not going to say anything. I listened to him last night, and he should sound like me. Let me tell you what.
Was you not satisfied with what he said?
Satisfied. I am. If a man could be fuming, then I'm fuming. Let me explain something to you, okay? The rules for someone to be for someone to be a judge, it's a position where you have to have strength of character. When you have strength of character, you sound a particular way. I told Mr. Smith 2 years ago, I said, stop allowing these people to call you Robert. Because when they call you Robert, they're telling you that you are neither here nor there. When they call you Mr. Smith, as I used to call Mr. Morris, or as we were taught as kids, you call your teacher or your elder Mr. It shows a respect. This man is going on to these, Mr. Smith is going on to these shows where he's got people questioning him. This is how it should go. I don't come onto shows. If you're lucky, you may be able to interview me at my office with other people in the room who work on the Boxing Board of Control. I'm not a celebrity. I'm a lawmaker and a law instructor. These people don't have any respect for him. If you're going to call a man Robert, a grown man Robert, when he is the General Secretary of the Boxing Board of Control, this is not the way it is done. This is why I was saying what I said all those years ago to him. You hear me calling you Mr. Froch. I know who you are. I know what you had to. You know what? There's a young lady called Natasha Jones. I met her for the first time on the table when we were sitting at these boxing wars the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize her because I don't watch a lot. I don't watch TV. Okay, I'm a spiritual man. I'm very much in the spiritual world. That's another story. When my agent showed me, he got her up because I asked her name, and I thought, I've asked her name, and she's a very famous woman. So I got up and I went over to her and I said, I'm sorry, I don't watch a great deal of boxing. I haven't seen you. I'm sorry. I said, it's a pleasure to meet you. She asked me, can we take a picture later? And I said, can we do it now? And we took the picture together. Okay. Chivalry is who we are. We are masculine. This is masculinity. When you are being noble, when you are being chivalrous, you're being masculine. This is who we are. We're not big heads. We're not show offs. We are the men in the community.
Yeah, I get that. Masculinity is under attack at the moment, I think.
So stand your ground, Mr. Froch.
I do stand my ground, but they want to cancel you, don't they? Left, right, and centre. You're not allowed to say it.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. You say you're not allowed to say it.
Well,
what
we are
am I doing?
allowed, but they're trying to attack free speech now, aren't they?
Okay, so you have to. I want you to talk to yourself in the morning, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. If you should wake up in the morning, you haven't had a drink the night before. Talk to yourself. Ask yourself, who are you? How will you be seen in 10, 20, 40 years? How will you be seen? It's going to depend on the things you do today. Stand your ground.
Yeah, well, there's a reason I work for myself now on my own channel, and I don't work for any broadcaster because of parameters that were put in place and restrictions and certain things you can't touch on, or agendas, political ones that they want you to go along with. And that's why I now do my own thing. So I can look in the mirror and like the guy that stares back at me, but I know exactly what you're saying. And I love the fact that you dig your heels in as a standard bearer for the rules and the regulations for what I think is the best sport in the world, professional boxing. And I absolutely love it. And I'd love to have 2 hours with you, maybe smoke a reefer, sit down, have a 2-hour chat.
Hold on.
And go deep, a lot deeper than we are now, especially with the spiritual side.
Let me tell you what. If you know marijuana, which I have not used for 2 years, I used medical cannabis to get over my situation. What happened with my son Sebastian? So 2 years ago, I stopped using the medical cannabis I was prescribed by my doctor. Okay. So I understand if you know the herb, then you know the spiritual world. Or yes, you could have a very, very, very a fascinating conversation with me when it comes to that. I don't do that anymore for now, and I say that because I don't just like marijuana. I love it because it makes you a human being. It makes you a cosmic being. So I know a great deal about this, and I would love to have that with you. And thank you for inviting me. And I hope one day we do that. Let me say this to you. The term mental health. Okay, let me tell you on this. I think we've done well over 15 minutes now, but anyway, we've
had a great chat, and this is why I'm saying about a podcast format could be 2 hours. And just so you know, we've done way over 15 minutes. We've actually done 40 minutes, which is brilliant, and it's been
so
been fun. But you carry on.
So no, I'm going to close it out now. I'm just going to go back to we were born in Great Britain. When you make champion of the world, you become, listen to the word, a Great Britain. You are a Great Britain. What does that mean? Okay, it means what you are great, and you are from Britain. I am a Great Britain. Fighters are Great Britons. We are all trying to get to the top where they say, oh, he's a Great Britain because he inspires people. We have to put this type of rhetoric out there. Who are we? If we are going to be swearing and having fights outside of the ring, and we're going to be throwing chairs around, that's the opposite of who we are, Mr. Froch. And you have to shame these people. And when I say shame them, I don't mean in a nasty way, an observant way. Remember, we're going to use the personality of the spirit. So we're going to be patient, we're going to be kind, we're not going to envy, we're not going to boast, we're not going to be proud, we're not going to be rude, we're not going to use bad language. We're not going to be rude. We're not going to be self-seeking. We're not going to be easily angered, and we're going to keep no record of wrongs. We're going to forgive instantly, and we're always going to look at everything positively. But those who are doing things which which are against our country and against the principles of the warrior, which is what we are and fighters are, we have to shine a light on them.
Yeah, well, I love that, but I don't.
No, well, no, yeah, I know you love it.
I don't particularly like
now
the way the country is going, the direction it's being taken in at the moment. There,
take charge, because look, here it is. You see, you don't have to do it for them. You only have to do it for yourself, and your example will emit from you. Do you see? It's not like you've got to go out there and put a plaque and say, we've got to do all. All you have to do. Let's talk about language, bad language, the potty mouths. All you've got to do is not use it, and you will see how quickly it inspires others not to do it. I'm not asking you to do anything special. I'm asking you to stay with the rules. Let's not reinvent the wheel. They have reinvented the wheel with bad language. Let's just go back to the wheel. Let's go back to, we have parents. I can't have my parents hear me swear. I certainly can't have my parents see me rolling about on the ground, because I don't want my parents thinking of me as an idiot. Put it on people gently, but the gentle is powerful, because you're trying to help them. We're not criticizing them, and we're not criticizing. No, criticize. We are not condemning them, because we're asking you to stop that, repent, go the other way. That doesn't work. Please don't teach my children. Do you have children?
Yeah, I've got 3 children.
How old are they?
My boy Rocco is 14. He's my oldest. I've got 2 girls, Natalia and Penelope. They're 11 and 9.
Okay. With your children, you have a duty of care.
Absolutely. I take my role as a father very serious.
They're not looking at any other man. The first man they're looking at is their dad. They're listening to your language. That if you should use more than one face, they see it. One face. You are a warrior. You. And for your 2 girls, Penelope is one, and the other is
Natalia.
How old are they?
11 and 9. Natalia's the
11
oldest.
and 9. What a beautiful age! Let me tell you, I can't tell you how beautiful that is.
I'm enjoying being a parent so much. I love it so much. I love it.
So this is for Penelope. This is for Penelope, and the first one is
Natalia and Penelope.
Natalia.
Rocker.
Okay. So here is for your girls. Penelope, yeah.
Yeah.
What a beautiful name. I was a Thunderbirds fan, you see. So Penelope and Parker were my favorite characters. Anyway, that's another story. Penelope, listen, if you commit this to memory, as I did 25 years ago, if you commit it to memory, you'll become like your dad. You'll become powerful. Just trust me on this. And when I say powerful, power that people can't see, but it's inside you. And it will keep you healthy, and it will make you prosperous. And it will keep you sane in a mad world. Okay, it goes as follows, Penelope. When you get what you want in your struggle for self and the world makes you a queen for the day, just go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what that girl has to say. For it isn't your husband or family or friend whose judgment upon you must pass. For the girl whose verdict counts most in the end is the one staring back from the glass. Now, some people may say, you're a straight shooting chum. They may call you a person of place. But the girl in the glass says, you're only a bum if you can't look her straight in the face. For she's the girl to please. Never mind all the rest, for she's with you clear up to the end. And you've passed your most dangerous, difficult test if the girl in the glass is your friend. Now, you may fool the whole world, Penelope. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get pats on your back as you pass. But your final reward will be heartaches and tears if you've cheated the girl in the glass.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. And I often refer, when people ask me why about certain things and my opinions on certain things, and I just say, listen, because it's the man in the mirror moment. You look in the mirror, and if you like the guy that stares back at you, you can be confident. And I never like to compromise it, and I never like to give away my own personal opinions and feelings on stuff. Just be sort of, when my head hits the pillow at night, I like to be clear and happy.
So do me that courtesy, and a courtesy of which I'm sure you would give me in return. Have your daughters commit that to memory, and with your boy, he changes queen to king. When you get what you want in your struggle for self, and the world makes you a king for the day, so you reverse it. But this, once they have this in their minds, once they've committed it to memory, they'll become superstars.
Yeah.
No one commits anything to memory anymore. No one knows poems anymore.
No, that's a beautiful poem. I love that.
But it's not a ditty. It's a compass of which you're putting inside your daughters and your son, if you have them committed to memory. So, Penelope, please commit this to memory.
Yeah, well, I'll play her this back, and Natalia as well. I don't want her to feel left out, but I'll say that.
No, certainly not. It's only that I'm not recording all the names of your children.
Absolutely.
And Penelope is obviously coming out of me more so than anybody else. So maybe she needs it more so than anybody else. Make her committed to memory. I'm a daddy, okay? I'm a daddy.
Yeah,
my children are grown. Junior's 35. Okay, I lost Sebastian. I've got children. So I know what's good for them. Home schooling, Sunday school teaching. Listen. Neville Goddard. I've said it twice now. So if you look him up on YouTube, this is a person who's left this dimension now. If you look him up and you listen to him, you'll understand. He'll teach you that your imagination is the spirit, your imagination, and it is boundless. It's consciousness, and it's going into it's imagination. If you can see it in your mind, you can achieve it. How do I know? I'm not even a tough guy, and I've got 19 world championship wins. I'm a standard bearer in the community. I have the prisoners who love me. They don't just like me; they love me. The politicians, the guys at the top of the world, okay, the presidents, the prime ministers, they love me. They don't just like me; they love me, and everyone in between. Why? Because boxing is the one sport that gets everybody's attention. And if you can be a nobleman through this, then in the minds of the people who have seen you, they will, again, not just like you, they will love you. And that's what you want. The real champions are the guys who have the hearts of the people. It isn't just the belt. The belt, when you win the WBC, the WBA, when you win the IBF or the WBO, they put the belt around your waist, but the belt cannot talk. So the media world shine a light on the belt. So who's wearing it? Okay, so this person's now wearing it. So then it's the personality of the person who's wearing it. Yeah. So your personality is what teaches. So if you swear, you're an inspiration. If you swear, then the light that's been shone upon you will shine the light on your swearing. So don't swear, because you're telling the people you're not a king. You're telling the people you're not a standard bearer. Don't talk to me about money. My crown is heavy, and that's beautiful. I have the love of the grandmothers. I have the love of the guys in prison. I have the love of the people on the street. You want their hearts, and the only way you're going to get their hearts is by being a gentleman, and young ladies being young ladies.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Carl Froch.
I love that.
Carl Froch. I rest.
Christopher Eubank Senior. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you too. Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you very soon, hopefully. And
some years ago, I took a picture with you. I saw you maybe in Oxford Street. We took a picture. Again, I'm not blowing smoke. I don't know how to do that. I can't believe how good looking you are.
Oh, thank you.
Really?
I've got a really good surgeon.
Hey, I hear you, and that's right. That's right. You tell them how you became the nose when you were boxing hit it, and now you've got congratulations.
I missed that nose.
Yes, let me tell you what, it's the one that made you
Exactly.
king.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
That's right.
my wife fell in love with me with that nose as well, which means a lot.
Trust me, it was nothing to do with your nose. It's to do with it's to do with
Yeah,
your
true.
spirit.
True,
It's
actually.
to,
I didn't
it's
realise
to
you
do,
knew.
it's always the things that you have no idea about that is attractive to your partner. It's always the things you have no idea about.
Mm,
Okay, all right. With that, we'll talk another time.
absolutely. Chris, thank you very
Thank you.
much. You take
Yeah,
care,
my pleasure.
and
I
we'll
will
speak
do.
again soon. Bye.
Okay then, my friends. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.